Entertainment news today. You're such a dragon gay. Everything sucks and it's no good. That comes out of Hollywood. But there's one place you can go to get all your news and info, and maybe even have a laugh or two. You know it's true. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark. All those bombs and flops, but need never stops. We will keep going through the night as we keep up the culture fight. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark.
It is Thursday night. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. I'm Tom. We have all 32 flavors of Nick Weiser here. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Had tacos with the kids I made at home. They turned out really good. Some might even say that they're the best ones I've made yet. I had a successful Barnes & Noble trip as well right before that. How are you?
What'd you get at Barnes & Noble? And I'm doing okay, except for my got a big old.
I'll whip it out. I'll whip it out and show you.
Sure.
I'll be really quick. So, obviously, Charlie Sheen has a new documentary out, but he said on a podcast with Logan Paul that in order to get the full experience, and I call it the full Sheen machine experience, you got to get the book because the book expands on everything else. Because there was a runtime that they needed me, so I got the Book of Sheen. And being the Megadeth fan I am, and I'm 10, 11, 12 years overdue, I think, on this, I finally got Dave Mustaine's book, just simply titled Mustaine, on paperback. So took a while, but we finally got it. So, yeah, I'm really stoked to read these two books. I'm going to try as soon as I can, whenever that is. Nice. But either way, I'm stoked.
Well, that's pretty freaking cool. I'm glad that you got some new literature today. And you know, for those out there who think that Nick can't read, that proves you wrong. I mean,
I may be retarded, but I can still read.
That's funny. So yes, do go out and read, kids. It's good for you. I don't get a chance to read enough as far as books or anything. I read too much online, but you know, it's like most people, they don't read any books anymore. Really.
My kids got 2 books each. I'm pretty happy with them. They're both really like antsy about it. Like when my oldest was like, I'm like, hey, you want to go to Barnes & Noble? Like her eyes just like lit up. Like, when do we go? When do we go? When do we go? I was like, okay, give me a half hour and we will go. And yeah, it was great. And she had no problem finding her books. Neither did her younger sibling as well. So they're both really happy. And they both have been very quiet since, we've been back. Like, yeah, I think it's because they've both been reading. So I know my youngest, oldest, she's already halfway done with her first book.
The more Tom knows. There we go. We also have CC Karaoke coming in from Canada. How you doing?
Doing all right. My parents are flying in tonight, so spent the whole day cleaning. Make it look like I live in a tidier existence than I actually do. Yeah.
Interesting.
cleaned the windows, swept the floor, took the trash out, all that stuff. It's been the
There you
story
go.
of my day.
Sounds like a long, tedious day of work.
It was.
That sounds fun. But you probably feel better about everything being clean.
Yeah, I suppose so. Tidy
Trying to look on the
space,
bright side
tidy
for you.
mind.
And welcome back, Professor R2. It's been a tick. How you doing?
It hasn't been that long. I
It's been at
was
least a
here
couple
a
of weeks
couple of
anyway.
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm quite busy with the whole work thing. So finding time to hop in and join everybody is rare. But yeah, had the opportunity tonight. I'm glad to be here.
Cool. So we don't have a ton of news, at least offhand, unless I missed something. But we did a couple nuggets. For one, that female cliffhanger movie they keep threatening us with did get a distributor. So
I can't wait to not
Roque?
see this.
Exactly, yeah. Like this thing, I remember them announcing it, quietly filming it. Nobody cared. Nobody cared at any point. We reported on it several times. Nobody cared. I even gave Andre a story about this. I had somebody who saw a test screening of this movie, and I gave him a shitload of stuff. He had zero fucking interest in it. Zero. I'm like, it's still a video. He's like, I can't see a video in it. Like, that's how disinterested everybody is in this fucking movie. This is the most ill-timed remake as well.
Oh God.
So what do you guys think? Go ahead, R2. Sorry.
No, nobody cares about this movie. Absolutely no one. I'm amazed they were able to find anyone who was willing to even put money into distributing this. It should just go straight to video. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, this should be one of those straight-to-video sequels at best. And she just plays like Sylvester Stallone's daughter in some loose connection to the original.
I mean, like if they get stunt actors to actually put their lives on the line and film that shit in some cool locations, all right, Or do they just have the camera flipped upside down so she's actually crawling along a flat surface on a background? It's like
Batman style,
green screen and she's really only 3 feet off the ground in a stage somewhere.
Yeah,
that's how Shatner would do it.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? I don't know. I don't even know if you're really that big of a fan of the original with Sylvester Stallone. I got to imagine you are, but
I like Cliffhanger, and I actually have yet to do it for a Toxic Tuesday.
Really,
So,
I was just about to ask that.
We have not done it, but we will.
John Lithgow is a great villain in that. Where's my money?
Oh yeah. No, I love Cliffhanger. I actually forgot this was coming out, and that just goes to show you, like, this didn't need to happen. To me, it was either make a sequel with Stallone or bust. And, well, we're at the point where we bust.
I haven't climbed a mountain in almost 40 years. Nah, they want me to come out of retirement. Now, that's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chat has a great title for this film that might actually
there's
get
a
it
few
picked
names
up.
going around.
Cliffhanger, Cliffhanger.
Oh, man.
Yeah. They say about somebody who's into a clit hanger. They're not that far from a dick.
Woo! Hot dog.
Just a step or two away. Anyhow, no, yeah, this had zero interest coming from anywhere, no buzz whatsoever at any real point of this movie's production, completion, the long road to finally get, because I think this thing's been done shooting for like over a year, but done, sorry, not just shooting, but done altogether for almost like a year now. Because my test screening thing came from months and months ago. So yeah, no, it does not sound good. Nothing from it sounded good. I don't have everything here in front of me to go by, but I just thought that was funny, and there's so much disinterest in it that thought that was worth bringing up, and
it's worth bringing up to laugh at it and be like,
exactly.
Oh, that's coming out. Yeah, no one cares. Even the people who pretend to care, just because my female gender swap lead, they're not even talking about it. I mean, and those people they're like the poser's poser. If anyone should pretend to care, it's them. They ain't even talking about it.
Yeah, let's see what you guys are talking about out in the chat. We got FKHC 2005, as usual, sends in $2 to send some love for Clobbering Times. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. And then ActionCom sends in 10. It's Tom. I need a laugh. Remember when Schwarzenegger was considered for the Heston role in Planet of the Apes? How do you think the maniac speech would have sounded? You maniacs! You did it! You blew it up! Why? Stupid! Why did you do this? Look at the statue. It's almost gone. It's distracted. And now I'm surrounded by apes. Yeah. That's probably about what it would sound like.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape. He was better when he didn't talk.
Yeah.
How is my rando just ape voice?
Amazing. Like
Stupid humans.
Like Chuck Norris's driver's license photo.
There's always like two
Absolutely
guys that always
amazing.
sound like that, right? They're like, these humans, they're always so dumb. Yeah, stupid. They're so stupid. That's what they all sound like.
It's true, though. It's funny because it's true.
Well, it was terribly obvious in those films, the ones that they would overdub versus the ones that were recorded,
Right.
actually, on set. Because the ones that were on set, they always had like their lips were
Yeah.
making funny noises, and then they would dub over with somebody else saying something. It's like it's just stuck out like crazy.
Well, Roddy
especially
McDowell, I think,
in
was one of the
later
only ones. Yeah, I was going to say, Roddy McDowell, I think, was the only one who really got to learn how to do it. Well, of course, he was doing so many of them, where they didn't have to overdub his voice all the time. And he would even do stuff with the makeup. Like when he get upset, he'd do the thing and make
Yeah.
it all blow up. He had fun with it.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I can't wait to actually get some real 4Ks of those. Patrick
Oh, yeah,
Robinson,
absolutely.
says, started watching Aztec Batman. It's, yeah. I've heard that the memes are good. That's what I heard. The memes are good. Has anybody actually seen this thing?
I
No.
forgot it existed until just
Yeah,
now.
that Aztec Batman thing. Yeah.
Yeah, all I've seen are memes and like clips. I haven't actually seen it.
Clips and tips.
Wouldn't that be Batman well?
Batman
tits?
will. Batman will. I don't know. Would it be?
don't know.
I don't know.
That's racist.
If it's
What is
Aztec
it?
Batman, there should be
What
lots of
is it
tits.
nowadays?
Everything's racist.
Yeah.
I'm racist. You're racist. We're all racists.
Everyone is racist. Everyone
I got
is
called
racist.
a racist last week. So, yeah. By somebody I didn't expect to even. But all right. Anyhow, moving on.
I got called by a raging leftist. I was just, and then like a few of my friends like who wrote to her like, you're retarded. I was like, that's great. Friends of mine wrote to her saying you're retarded, and one of them
Well,
was
speaking
like,
of retarded. Oh, go ahead, finish.
and one that who wrote to her, and he is black. He's like, you're retarded. She's like, how dare you?
Oh, no, mine was actually a friend, and it happened to be the first black person to ever call me racist, actually.
Oh wow.
But anyhow,
That's some shite.
let's just say this person liked to pretend they were my friend, and they obviously didn't give a shit.
No,
but
they were
anyhow,
never your friend.
not really. So speaking of retarded, Rick Moranis has officially come out of retirement for Spaceballs 2. So do not believe any of these AI images that are going around. I've seen at least 3 or 4 of them now, if not more. There's nothing that's actually come from the set yet.
Yeah, absolutely nothing that's verified.
There's one
Yeah.
thing, but it's not from the set.
That whole Honey, I Shrunk the Kids thing, I guess that never really happened, eh?
No, the reboot never came to fruition. Evidently, you're right. This is the only official image that has been released so far, and I get the joke, but I'm concerned.
Yeah.
There's Kiki fucking Palmer right there.
Uh,
You notice how close she is to like Rick Moranis and everybody else. So that usually goes by whoever's the farthest from the star and the director and writer, being Josh Gad.
yep.
All the way over here to the right, this chickie poo down here in the bottom, whoever this guy is over here on the right, yeah, you're the least on the totem pole.
Yep. Oh,
And the closer they get, yeah.
Yeah. You said the name that has me the most worried about this whole production.
Which one, Kiki Palmer or Josh Gad? Because
Josh
yeah,
Gad.
both of them I'm worried about.
Keke Palmer, I don't know, but Josh Gad, given that just has such a high position in actually writing this and helping produce it and all that stuff, I am not a fan.
I still don't understand what Gad ever did to deserve this.
No. but I'm some people were asking earlier who was going to be taking over the role of Barf, and I'm like, probably Josh Gad.
That's what I was thinking, and not Barf, but he'll probably be Barf Jr.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible choice, but if you haven't noticed, there's a little laptop there on the metal table there.
Yep.
And who's on the laptop? Can anybody recognize who that was? I know it's hard to see from this.
Oh no,
version,
that's Mel Brooks.
Yeah, Mel Brooks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 99 years old now? Like,
gosh, yeah.
Older than shit.
Close to it.
Yeah. So I want to get excited about it.
I'm waiting for a trailer. I'm gonna wait for a trailer and then see where we go from there. Because I refuse. So I've seen now enough trailers that sometimes we get deceived, sometimes we get affirmation. I'm gonna wait for a trailer to see where we go and then see. But as of now, this is like okay. This doesn't really give me much to say whether it's positive or negative. It's just simply there.
Okay, there's a few visual gags all throughout this picture, obviously. Some of them I can't quite place. But there's Barf's bathroom, the big fire hydrant, who's right behind Josh Gad, so I think you're right.
Yep.
And then we got Yogurt's robe, and his shoes are down underneath Mel. We got a pizza in the seat, which is probably emulating Pizza the Hut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what this black ball is. I'm sure it has something to. I'm sure it has something.
Oh, I'm sure that's one of the Spaceball helmets from the original film.
Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is this cooler thing back here? I know that's got to be something to do with something. Like all this stuff in the back here looks like Lone Star's jacket and some other stuff from the movie. It looks like.
Yeah, it's real hard to tell what some of the other stuff is. I'm not sure I get the water jug thing.
Yeah, or the cooler or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. If that's what it is, it looks like that's what it is. But yeah, and then there's some other stuff off here to the right that I can't really tell what it is either. But yeah, otherwise there's a fly swatter, and I don't know if that has any significance whatsoever. But yeah, so there's a few things in here, but again, I don't want to get too crazy. I do love how Keke Palmer's sitting closer than Daphne Zuniga is too. That's another thing that bothers me. But,
yeah. Oh yeah, there's a pair of shoes down there from the.
Yeah, I said that. You got Yogurt shoes.
Yeah.
Is it the Dink Dink shoes? Yeah, well,
I
it's
think
Yogurt
it's
shoes,
the
Dink
Dink
shoes.
shoes.
They're about the same, I think. Well, there you go, kids. So yeah, it started filming. There really wasn't much information other than it started filming. That's pretty much it.
Yep.
So we pretty much know about as much as y'all do. Yes, Mel Brooks is involved, but only in mostly a producerial / cameo as Yogurt, probably. And that's it. So, and how much you want to bet his whole joke is that he keeps dying, but he just won't die?
Could be, yeah. I can see that being the case. Absolutely.
The whole "I must tell you something" scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look. But I have a feeling this is going to emulate more of the sequels because of this picture. Because if that was my whole point from the get-go was, if y'all remember, this is the same exact picture we got from The Force Awakens, pretty much.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
The one where Mark Hamill's like, I don't even know why I'm here.
That's my guess. Yeah, that it's gonna be more or less story-wise going to be going after the sequels, but I'm not sure if they're really going to want to go hard after KK and Disney and some of the huge failures that they made. At least not making fun of those, right? So.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how they navigate those waters. And yeah, Rick Moranis, of course, right there in the hat next to Josh Gad. So there you go. Yes, he is back. Is that Ben Kingsley to the right there? Who is that? I can't place it.
You're right. I can see why you thought that. One? Wow. Yeah. I actually thought it was for a second,
the villain guy from Barry. I can't remember his name. The actor.
Barry.
Oh, Barry.
I hear it's good though.
Huh. I think that's him.
Wow.
Is Colonel Sanders returning? Unless that's who that is. That's who that is.
Oh,
Now that I
he
look at
better
it,
have
that's
a
that's
famous-
Colonel Sanders.
He better have a famous bull with him for
What is
this.
it?
There better be a famous bull, or I'm suing somebody.
Yeah, I'm like 80% sure that's Colonel Sanders.
Oh, on the right. I was looking on the left. I'm sorry. I was looking at the bald guy on the left.
Is that the guy on the left? Oh yeah, that's that dude who's in like everything. I forget his name, but he got like alopecia or whatever it is,
Yeah.
where he lost all of the hair on his body.
Anthony
So he had a whole other
Anthony
career
Kerrigan,
before.
that's his
Yeah,
name.
Anthony Kerrigan. Yeah, so he had like a whole nother career before that. And then when he lost his hair, he couldn't get any jobs. Then all of a sudden, he picked up, started getting a bunch of jobs as villains and stuff. And it just so happened to work out for his career that, you know, kind of got him back in the business. So yeah, no, some of the cast I'm really excited about. Certain aspects I'm fine with. I mean, can it really be any worse than you know, the History of the World Part 2? I didn't even watch most of that. I started and I was just like, okay, yeah, no, thanks.
Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, I gave up about halfway through.
Yeah, well, he also didn't play just villains. He'll play like angelic characters and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
I've seen him. Yeah.
Wow.
They've used his unique look in a very productive way, let's say,
I like that. I like
and
that.
I mean,
he's
I
leaned
can't
into it.
I can't remember the last Mel Brooks movie that I can actually remember. So, of course, I mean, if he's not writing it, that doesn't exactly give me confidence.
The last
either, though.
actual Mel Brooks movie, I think his Life Stinks, and then he did he produced The Producers.
Of course he did. Yeah, I remember that he produced the producer.
Dracula Dead and Loving It would probably be his last. Would that be his last one after Life Stinks? Yeah, I think Corley and Rogue's right.
Yeah.
And
think
I-
so.
Men in
love-
Tights was
I love
before
that
that,
movie.
right?
Directorial. Yeah.
Dracula Dead and Loving It. I love that movie.
That's his
But I
last
mean-
directorial movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I'm not gonna say that I think this is gonna be bad, but I have no reason to think it's gonna be good either.
It's
I don't
Jews
have
in
anything to draw on
space.
here.
And before anybody gets mad at me, that was the original title.
Yes,
God
it
damn it!
Yes, it was.
Got a great idea for a movie. It's called Jews in Space. Just what we needed. A Druish princess.
Funny. She doesn't look Jewish.
Funny. She don't look Jewish. Oh, that's going to leave a mark. Barf. Not here, mister. This is a Mercedes. No, that's my name. Barf. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
Now I want to
God,
watch
I miss
Mel
John
Brooks in
Candy.
my life.
Yeah, just the first movie is so quotable. It's like, you really want to try
Wildly,
this?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Spinal Tap 2. I mean, I loved the second film. I wouldn't say it necessarily needed to exist, though. Same thing with Happy Gilmore, and those are probably two of the best that we've gotten in, 10 years now?
In a while. Yeah.
Coming to America 2 was garbage. Beverly Hills Cop 4 was garbage.
Ooh.
I still never
Um,
saw that one. I'm glad I haven't.
Some people liked it better than 3, and I understand why. But to me, the problem with the movie is the daughter. She is the problem.
What?
Because she's obnoxious. She's a bitch. She has no real reason to be a bitch to Axel. Yet she treats him like shit through the entire fucking movie. And he's barely even Axel Foley. He's more like just Eddie Murphy showing up, being Eddie Murphy.
Oh, that's a bummer. See, he should be Axel Foley because he did know how to become that character and become that character
Yeah.
well. So that's unfortunate to hear.
Like, Rosewood gets kidnapped, so he's like out of the movie. So you take the one guy who can act and you take him out of the movie. And then you got old man, what's his face, who just passed away. Geez, I just forgot his name, sadly. Shit. Plays Taggart. Anyway, his character is just so out of character. But anyhow, yeah, it was ugh. John Ashton. Thank you, Bryant. But anyhow, so yeah, I don't know if anybody's looking forward to Spaceballs 2 or not, but let's see what you guys are talking about out in the chat. We got Play the High Note, who says, does anyone know if the new season of South Park has Colbert writers in the room? I haven't. Is there a new episode yet? Did they drop a new episode this week?
I don't know.
Last night,
I
yes,
know there
they
was one
did. I
coming.
didn't
Okay,
watch
so I
it,
haven't seen it yet.
but it did come out. One of my buddies, well, he said it was pretty good.
Well, the one before last week was kind of what I was trying to get to with some people. I think that was one step of the joke with the whole Satan thing. Because it was basically a whole episode so they could say that Trump was literally fucking Satan. Because that's basically what the news says all the time. And I knew that twist was coming, and it was like, okay, so that's one of your more obvious ones, guys. What else you got up your sleeve here? So hopefully the shows have been good. You said the new one's been good, so I'm looking
I
forward
haven't
to
watched
checking
it, but one of my buddies
okay.
said it was pretty good. He didn't say it was fantastic, but he said it was pretty good. So I kind of just took him at his word at that. That sounds like he maybe, if I had to guess, maybe he gave like a 7.5 out of 10. Because I've heard him say, "Oh, amazing" or "awesome," but he says pretty good. So I'm like, okay, I'll to watch it, and yeah.
There you go. And then thank you for that. Play the high note. And then we got Joe Pat 87. How you doing, buddy? Says, with everything that's happened the last couple of weeks, no wonder we forgot all about the Peacemaker. You're missing nothing. Just people talking about nothing and missed opportunity in the AU. And then he goes, and Michael Rooker in pointless subplot. Well, I disagree with this. I've been having a lot of fun with this second season of Peacemaker. In fact, I just talked about it with Greg of Fanzine last night. He's getting into it too. Look, it's one of those shows. Either you like it or you don't. And I totally understand people who don't, right? Like, you know, it's like with somebody like sushi. I've hardly ever had anybody who's really shamed me for going, like, I've never tried it, but I'm not sure I'd like it. And they're like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, it is a very acquired taste, you know? Like,
yeah.
Have you seen it at all? Anybody here besides me? Or?
I have not. I only saw the first 2 episodes, I think, of season 2 or 3, and I wasn't really wild about it. I didn't necessarily hate it, but didn't really capture my interests. And I was probably one of the few wrestling fans who never really got the whole hype with John Cena. And so to me, him and Ali just never sells me the same way I've never been sold on him as a main eventer in wrestling. I can't buy either. I know wrestling fans, if there's a wrestling fan, probably not going to be happy about that, but he's just never had that thing to me. Like, I'm a Jake the Snake guy when I say he's a really good mid-carder at best.
Yeah, and then Joe Pat adds, oh, go ahead.
I was going to have a question about that, because I've seen the first season. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've heard
but then I got
good.
all this information about the second season requiring homework about how it's tied to Superman, but it's not tied to the first season.
Well, was it said it was required, or was it just saying that it just takes place after? Really. I feel like a lot of people didn't make that distinction.
I think you're right, Nick. It's more about it taking place after, because the only thing that really is connected to Superman, and you don't even really have to have seen Superman, because it pretty much explains everything you need to know, is about the interdimensional rift shit. Right? Like, it's kind of set off with the whole, like, point of them coming after Peacemaker in this season is that he's in possession of this door. As far as we know, he's the only other one who has one besides Lex Luthor, who's currently in prison, right? So the whole thing is set off by him using this door, and so Rick Flag is like, we got to stop him, and blah, 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 blah. So, like, I think that this whole show is going to be about cutting off those interdimensional rifts. And that's all it has to do with as far as the connection to Superman. And just, it doesn't matter, because all Rick Flag says is one of these damn things almost destroyed Metropolis a few weeks ago or whatever it was to kind of set you wherever you're at in the timeline. But otherwise, there's been no connections. They haven't really mentioned Lex or any Daily Planet this or dropping anything here or there. Like, I think there's going to be a Superman cameo, but I think it's going to be about as pointless as the John Cena cameo was in Superman, I bet. We'll have to wait and see, though. I have an idea of where the show's going. And that's what I mean. I think they're going to close off all this multiverse shit in this show. So from here on out, I don't think it'll ever be really brought up again unless Lex Luthor tries to do something again. But I don't see them really getting too deep into it. And then he goes, Anthony Kerrigan is also on Twisted Metal. That's true. And he says, I want to like it, but it's so slow. I agree that these first few episodes have really been taking their sweet time getting to where they're at. Like, this feels like this is where they should have been in the second episode after the last one I watched. So, yeah. So, thank you for that, Joe Pat, and talking about Peacemaker, which gets, I think, Sundays, I think, is when the new episodes are on. So, I don't even know when half these shows are on anymore. I forget that Beavis and Butthead and South Park are on Wednesdays, and then Beavis and Butthead pisses me off because Paramount's not dropping them on Paramount Plus. They're only showing them on Comedy Central first, and I think they're going to wait until the season's done to drop it all. Oh, so no, it's tonight. Says Carly, is that Beavis and Butthead tonight? Yeah, probably.
I still need to watch Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, you haven't seen any of the new ones?
I haven't watched the new ones. I'm starting to try to get into a habit where I could start taking like watching newer shows seriously. Like I finally watched The Terminal List after 3 years. Really loved it, and I started the first episode of Dark Wolf, which I enjoyed as well. So, and I'm starting Tulsa King season 2, so I can get to speed rush through that, so I can get to 3. It's really tough in between everything, but it's just like I want to watch these shows because it's like, holy crap, there's more than 1 or 2 shows now that I can enjoy and like. Like now I have this motivation now to watch TV again. It's a great feeling.
All right. Well, Joe Pat 87 says, with everything that's happened the last couple of weeks, no wonder we got this one already. JPS says Barf Jr., part human, part dog, part robot. Oh Lord. Or snowman. That's what he is. Hopefully I didn't get rid of any of the other messages.
God, I hope he doesn't have a musical number.
Oh shit. You had to bring that. You just made that happen.
Did I manifest that?
Nobody thought about it until you just brought that up. Now Josh Gad is like, you know what this is missing? A musical number.
Yeah.
Yeah. You suck.
Well, don't take Tom's word for it.
Yeah. All right. Let's there's the Kimmel thing. Okay, like I didn't want to get too deep into it all. But there was one story that came out that just drove me nuts because there's tons of crap out there about this whole thing. One sec. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. So anyway, Jimmy Kimmel is just not only doubling down or whatever, I mean, probably tripling down, I guess, at this point on Trump did this to him somehow. Like, show us on the Trump doll where he fucking touched you, Jimmy. Seriously, because we had ABC put out a statement, and in nowhere in that statement, did at any point did anybody mention the FCC or Trump? There has been zero indications that Trump or the FCC have done fuck all, that Trump has called ABC or anything like that. All he did was post on Truth Social was that ABC gave that no-talent Jimmy Kimmel his job back. Can't believe this. That's it. So if he had something to do with it, don't you think he'd be a little more pissed than that? Exactly. I'm so tired of this shit. Go ahead. Sorry.
No.
You gotta remember, guys like Kimmel can say this stuff to the audience. Let's just say when he's on this show, people who are watching the show, he's likely preaching to the converted. They're not gonna think, well, Kimmel's lying about this. He knows that when he says this stuff, they're gonna take his word for it like it's the damn gospel. So he knows he can outright lie because all those people are just gonna simply take his word for it. He doesn't care about those who don't believe him because those who don't believe him, which is a lot of people, aren't watching, and some of the people who do believe him aren't even watching as well. So yeah, it's just the tens of people who are left watching it will believe everywhere he says simply because he said it. Sometimes it's not about the take. It's about who's the one saying it. And for a lot of the shit Kimmel says, as long as he says it, that shit is like, no, the law for some.
Yeah. And so, well, and by constantly going after Trump, he's quite literally disproving his own BS. Because if it was Trump that took you down because you said things about Trump, then why are you still allowed to say things about Trump? It doesn't, you can't square that circle, right? It doesn't make any sense. If he's actually claiming that the reason he was taken off the air was because he said things that Donald Trump didn't like about Donald Trump, but yet you continue to say things about Donald Trump and you're still on the air. I mean, it doesn't work.
But you're thinking about that, Professor. A lot of people aren't going to think it. They'll still buy
no, they
that.
Won't. Not his. Not his.
When you think about it for more than 2 seconds, you're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But a lot of people are still going to take his word for it, even though, yeah, when you put thought that, yeah, that does contradict everything that was said. Because, yeah, if he truly weren't allowed to talk about, which would be really silly, admittedly, yeah, the show wouldn't be back. But yeah, he's just Kimmel knows, and he's playing to an audience who's gonna just take his word for it. So I don't know, let it all die slowly. I think if anything, he should be even more of an idiot and lie more, so that eventually someone will like eventually pull the trigger on this show. So it needs to happen,
Well,
but this one's gonna be a very slow. No, it's gonna be a very long, slow death for this one. So this isn't gonna be here forever. Let's be real. This show doesn't have a young audience, even though they like to pretend and lie about it. They don't. This has an aging audience. That's why any boomer that gives me crap for it about how dare you say about Kim, it's like, shut up, boomer. And then all of a sudden they're like,
yeah.
ah. Like it's just like, yeah, that's right. I
Well,
ain't gonna listen to your shit, bro.
and I have listened to so many people discuss this over the last few days, and as somebody who has, or actually more like week, and as somebody who has actually had their FCC license and had to go through all the shit to get it, and I know what it entails, I have never seen so many people who have, like, either what I would call cognitive dissonance, or they're just trying to be that obtuse. I mean, I don't even know what word to put there, because it's like, look, if this was going the other way, I doubt anybody would be bitching on that other side, but now all of a sudden, this is a big deal and freedom of speech carries. And what's hilarious is what Jimmy said here, which is the part that I found funny, is not the Trump part, but the other part. He goes, a lot of people watched our show last night, as we predicted. A lot of people would, and he did probably do his best ratings he's ever done. I got so many texts from so many people that made me realize that many of my friends are never watching the show at any other time. Jimmy, that should really sink in and like, does he not realize what he's saying? I mean, R2, I heard you laugh, so you get it where I'm coming from on this.
Yeah. It's literally, nobody was actually watching my show to begin with. Not even the people
Exactly.
that I know, not even the people that claim to be my friends. They were not watching my show.
And I get it. I'm sure Jimmy doesn't expect everybody to watch his show, but you're right. Like, this brought out so many fair weather friends because they needed to get behind this. And I see in even the new South Park episode, that's what it's about. And I'm hearing like very bad things about that. I'm like, did you guys not even understand what the fuck happened here? I mean, somebody needs to really, like, I swear I live in this crazy world where I never thought we'd be having a debate over freedom of speech when basically all you got to do is shut most of them up and say, yeah, well, Charlie Kirk has no speech period anymore because of you motherfuckers. So you got no grounds to stand on right now. No, none of your finger pointing, purse clutching, bullshit standards that you try to put out there for people are going to fucking mean shit or fuck all to anybody right now. And the twisting of what was said here is hilarious. And the way they've tried to keep turning this around on Trump is even more hilarious, right? Like, it's just so stupid. Do I think Trump and what's his face should have said anything out in public? Probably not. But they didn't fucking do anything, right? Like,
Well,
it's
even
no,
though it
it's
was said from the horse's mouth that this was Disney all along.
Yeah.
With
Yeah, it
them
was
making the decision.
Yeah.
Written, documented on paper, and still they run with the lie. But once again, let the boomers live with their lies. That's fine. That they can live and die with their decisions. No skin off my back. These people he'll have a short-term ratings boost for a week, 2, maybe even 3, maybe. Then I'm just trying to play optimistic here. When he does, I'll be shocked if he doesn't. When he does, eventually it's just going to peter up right back down to where we left off again. They're going to take their short-term victory as if it were a major win, when all it is a short-term win. And then when it goes down the shitter, they're still going to blame MAGA again. And the 10 people who left watching it are still going to believe it just because, well, as one of the guys said on the panel, these people, Trump lives in their head rent-free.
Yeah. This all comes back and we start hearing about it all over again when we find out sometime in the next, 4 months or so that they're not going to renew Jimmy's contract and his show will end in May.
Well,
if you can understand it, it says it's been Iger all along. But yeah.
I actually had to really what I thought it was it said Agatha, but I'm glad
No,
Iger
it says Iger.
was.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been Iger all along. Anyway, so yeah, he had to say something to Trump's comment on Truth Social or whatever the fuck it was. He's like, because Trump said, I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. And then Kimmel came back with, you can't believe they gave me my job back. I can't believe we gave you your job back. We're even. That is like one of the worst fucking schoolyard comebacks I've ever heard.
It's pretty
well,
pathetic.
any little thing that they do, any little inch that they gain of anything in any way, shape, or form, regardless of context or lack thereof, they're gonna always spin as win because nothing that they gain, even if it's like a 0.0001% positive, they're gonna always spin as a win because nothing in their mind is ever a loss. Because to them, to admit to any one little thing is like to them, it's like it's an admission of defeat. And it's just like, well, if we lied about this or if we're wrong about this, you get people thinking, what else were they wrong about? And they know once you start admitting it to one thing, it starts to unlock all the other things. So they know they're too far gone that they can't just turn back now.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean changing how they think, but it's the whole letting people know, hey guys, we went too far. They're not going to do that, guys. It's never going to happen.
I wish Price was here right now because he's one of the people who would get back behind me on this conspiracy idea. It's like this almost feels like they orchestrated it on purpose. Like the entire thing was almost orchestrated on purpose. If it wasn't for Nexstar and Sinclair being the catalyst for this whole thing coming to a halt, right? Like, I feel like it is so perfectly timed. Yeah, the Price theory would be like they came up with this whole thing to begin with, as this whole scheme to basically help boost the ratings for Jimmy Kimmel. They basically orchestrated his fake death, is what they did, right? Like, you know, it's just like when a musician dies, they're worth 10,000 times as much as they were before they were alive. Like, that's even a joke in Spinal Tap too, right? Like, they're like, you know, it'd be great if if ideally at least one of you could die on stage, right? That would really help our situation here. It's called the Elvis effect. Yeah.
I don't know if you know who John Douglas is in our sphere, but he's this guy who writes book for like the indie sphere of like comics and chapter book writing. He actually posted September 20th. I feel like this is all a work. And then he showed, and then, you know, a few days later, I think it was on the 22nd, 23rd, it popped up that, hey, look, guys, it's back on. Like, holy crap, that dude said that a few days in advance. This has to be all a work just to get, you know.
Well, it's like an empty victory of sorts, right? It's like a very empty victory.
And they will take that empty victory because then, once again, they don't care about actual victory. They care about how it looks to others.
Oh, yeah, it's all perception.
Just appearances.
That perception is everything. Smoke and mirrors is their freaking specialty.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the one thing that came out so far that bothered me. I've seen some really bad takes from a lot of celebrities, and it sounds like South Park's going to really piss me off. So I'm not looking forward to that. But, yeah, at this point, I feel like so many people are so stupid. It's like, I don't even agree with half of what's going on, but it doesn't matter, right? Like, you just got to understand that this is the rules. The rules have been broken. The only reason people are surprised is because nobody's held anybody to the standard rules for so long. Even Trump let a lot of things slide, right? Because there was a lot of things that he has been going after them, don't get me wrong, but that's the other side of it. They try to paint him like he's some tyrant using the government to go after people. It's like, no, all this has been personal lawsuits, right? And which is what you open yourself to automatically when you do this. And this is part of the reason why broadcast airwaves are, regulated by the FCC, so this kind of shit doesn't happen, right? It's one thing to have some stupid news show on a cable network that nobody can, that anybody can kind of either check and do their own research and find that it's complete bullshit, and or if you already know their bias, well, then it's pretty clear. You just kind of go watch MSNBC, then you go watch Fox, and you go, okay, somewhere in the middle is probably the truth.
No, a lot of people don't go to even for those who watch MSNBC, CNN, they don't go there for information. They go there for confirmation.
Exactly.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is Trump is not wrong when he basically was alluding to like he saved cable news and a lot of this other shit because they were dying. They had nothing till Trump came into office. That gave them the biggest boost they've had in a long time. And then since then they've been this slow death. Like CNN is barely clinging to life at this point. And CNN was the one who started it all.
Yeah.
So when that's where I see this going. Like I agree with you guys. Kimmel is not going to be on the air that much longer.
Mhm.
That's why Disney, I think this whole thing was more of a horse and pony show than it was an actual event, if you want to
Mhm.
call it that. Because he was never fired. He basically got a week's vacation, is what he got.
Shows get canceled all the time too, without their staff being, let's just say, quote unquote, fired. They just find other work elsewhere. And even let's pretend alternate reality that this show never went back on the air. Kimmel would not have problem finding work if he really wanted to. Someone will hire him for some, whether it's for a show on a streaming service, whether it's for him being in a movie. I don't know. All I'm saying is he never was actually truly canceled, unlike someone, let's just say, like Gina
Roseanne
Carano.
Barr.
Or Roseanne Barr. He just basically, and shows get canceled all the time on TV for good reasons and bad reasons. Jimmy Kimmel would have just lost his show at worst.
And I brought this up here with Roseanne because she's not wrong. Because she didn't even say this on broadcast television. She just put it on a tweet or something like that.
Yep.
And I don't know if you would call this a double standard, but it's more of a, I don't know, is that even a proper term to put towards this? Because it's like the weight of both seems so uneven. It's not even funny.
I don't know what I consider, but I could definitely see why she has her complaint towards ABC about it, because what she had was an off the job thing, and his was live on air doing something that can affect people's jobs. All they could have said to her at war says, hey, maybe try to tone down what's going on social media if you want to, promote the show or whatever. They could went about that, but instead they just went straight to, we're canning you.
Well, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but from what I remember when they relaunched the show for Roseanne, it was one of the more popular ones of these reboots, where isn't the Conners still actually running or just ended last year or something like that? Like, I mean, even to show that they, and a lot of that was what you guys were just talking about before, is like, they can't cancel the show now because then it would be admitting defeat, right? And the whole point is ABC had to prove that the show could go on without Roseanne, because when that happened, one of the main points was you just killed this show for a bunch of people who probably had been planning on doing the show for at least the next 3 years or more. I mean, yeah, sure, John Goodman's going to be fine, but what about everybody else in the cast? Hell, the kid that played the son, they had to basically dust him off, and because he hadn't done any acting since, from my understanding, right? So yeah.
I was thinking about this here. Just did John Goodman have to sign a new contract, because he was contracted for Roseanne, and it became the Conners? Is that a new show? Did he actually sign his
That's a good question.
To the new show after that? Or
I'm sure
did he have an out? It's like, I don't want.
He might have had an out, but I think that was the whole point. CC, I remember at the time, and fuzzy memory of a few years ago, was that everybody was more concerned with the show still going on and all the writers and production team and all that kind of business, and other lower level actors losing their work. Because again, the same thing with the girls that played the daughters, outside of Sarah Gilbert, nobody else had really done anything.
True.
And again, same thing I think was with the original Becky. Didn't they drag her out of obscurity too to be in the show?
I mean, a lot of I guess a lot of the people on it would not to have careers, but John Goodman is just so far beyond something like that. He was it was kind of surprising.
It's steady
to see
work
him
for him
back.
though, but he doesn't need it. But yeah,
that's what I mean. Is like he definitely does not need it. So I was surprised when they got him to come back for the reboot to begin with of that first season of Roseanne. I was like, wow, they got him to come back.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's right. The son actually left, I think, with Roseanne, didn't he, or something along those lines? But I just wanted to bring that up too, because I feel like it's just complete. Like, that's one of the best examples you can bring up here. Not to mention Gina Carano. And that's the funny thing is all these are on ABC's side, right? Or Disney, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they are the ones who've canceled probably more people than anybody, yet they're the ones who benefited the most from this whole Jimmy Kimmel fiasco. And that's the thing, is I'm sure the reason they went back on the air is that there were certain sponsors, I'm sure there are, I'm not going to say there aren't, that came to the rescue of the show. Let's be real. I didn't watch the show. I don't give a fuck. So I didn't even see if, they had any, Pfizer, plenty of Pfizer ads or anything like that. Well, there you go. There's your sponsors right there. And that's probably the only ones who would, because they kind of owe Jimmy and Colbert. So That's the way I'd see it. Because at this point, there's nothing keeping the show on at this point. That's why the show got canceled. And that's why I hate everybody getting into this disagreement about it, because it's like, look, I get the way you feel. We all agree on freedom of speech, but a lot of people don't understand what the responsibility is that comes along with that. And the other side of this is less to do with freedom of speech, and I think it has more to do with the fact that Disney looked for an out, and 400 some fucking celebrities pissed and moaned, and you gave into them and gave their way. What about the millions of viewers that you're going to lose now? Because yeah, sure, you got a boost for one night, but was it worth it?
Many of us,
anybody's been watching since.
Yeah, many of us in our regular jobs, we can, let's just say, we can say what we want, but we also got to consider the risk of the consequences if we do at our jobs.
Honestly,
when we do get fired, should we get fired for something, we just say we don't use the free speech argument. We're not applying that there. We're only applying it because it has a guy that they don't like, and they need to tie it to that so they can say, hey, look at the contradiction. But yet we don't make that argument when we get fired from our own jobs. They just want everything to be different, because when there's a political bend to any of this that doesn't benefit or does benefit them, they will do whatever it takes to slant it to their will.
It seems like the ones who bitch about the freedom of speech the most are the ones who use it the most, right? Like, that's the funny part. Because at no time do most people in Hollywood have to worry about what the fuck they say or do. They're going to keep their jobs. But I want to take anybody who's especially griping from the freedom of speech side of this, I want you to step back and take a look at your life. Take a look at your job. At where you work, could you go out and do half the shit that any of these fucking people do, whether it's on social media or anything else, and get away with it? I ask you that because I guarantee you most people, especially in the work sector, cannot, especially teachers and other people. I mean, unless you're saying the right thing for the last 8 to 10 years, then you were a target. How many teachers lost their jobs over this shit? And that was the funny thing, is it seemed like they were just trying to get rid of the smart teachers at that point.
Probably done by design to get rid of the smart ones.
Yep.
Always is.
And we have somebody who actually works in that kind of...
Yep.
So R2, I don't know if you have anything to say about that, but
I'll say absolutely. I have to be incredibly careful about what I've said, what I say still in the in the academic arena. I do not use a personal social media account for much of anything at all. If someone sees it, takes it out of context, whatever, tries to come after me, it's pretty chilling, to be honest. Like, being someone who's let me say, if you're a dyed-in-the-wool leftist and you want to go out there and say nasty, horrible things about Donald Trump, and you want to go out and say all sorts of things about, supporting, the Transformers and all of this stuff, you're free to do that. You don't ever have to worry about any kind of retaliation.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk seems to be the first time they've had to face any consequences on the other side.
Well, that's what happens when they're so used to getting their way. Because when you get so used to getting your way, eventually you become cocky with it. And then the day you finally have your day of reckoning, you freak out that much hard because you've never experienced a world. You've never experienced a world where you've actually had to answer for the bullshit you do because you're so used to having it your way.
Yeah, never facing any consequences whatsoever for even some truly disgusting stuff that some people in academia, both in primary and higher education, that have said things that if you had said the same thing, but you were a conservative, you were someone who was on the quote unquote right, then you would have found yourself on the soup line real fast.
Well, I live in Vancouver, Canada, and
you're a Canadian,
Canada, but and I've delivered food all around the city, and as part of delivering food, I go to houses, I go to apartment buildings, and office buildings, but also schools. And one thing that I really noticed that kind of bummed me out, to be honest, is those certain flags are flying in the primary schools in this city. But it also depends on what part of the city you're in.
That's a good point.
We have,
but like, I mean,
we have a
yeah.
very heavy Asian immigration population here. It's like we can make the joke like
Mhm.
like the Asian languages are the first language of the city. I'm not even fucking joking. They're like we
I
have
thought you
like
had
there
to
are-
speak French.
no, there's no French here, but the signs have
That's the other
you know,
side. Yeah.
yeah. But it's like if you go to like just like Burnaby, you don't see it. You see none of it. But in like the old, I hate to say this, the kind of like classic population, the white Canadian liberal population areas, they're in the primary schools, dude. And I'm like, oh, do you really have to do that? I didn't like seeing it. So it depends. It depends on the neighborhood, but yeah, it's just something I observed.
All right, well, let's see what you guys are talking about. We got BA for 3 super chats here. $4.99 from BA says, we know that Roseanne and thousands of us were canceled, including myself, by the Biden regime. Oh shit, I did not know that, BA. I'm sorry to hear that. Doesn't change the fact that Jimmy flat out lied. I'm curious what line of work you were in before that happened. BA says, FCC violation for Kimmel. Never mind how disgusting and immoral it was, and he did not apologize or admit what he did. We are not fooled anymore. Yes, that's, I think, a bigger part of the problem here. I mean, he danced around it so much.
Oh, yeah.
And played the I didn't say what you think I said game as best he could. Yeah. And then BA says one more with $4.99 again. Thank you so much for the support. Says Jimmy said the shooter was part of MAGA gang after this man was brutally taken out by a leftist Democrat, and Jimmy lied and left doubling down. See, I agree with this is the problem. This point right here. Nothing else he said is a problem. See, that's where I agree with everybody on that part. It's like nothing, not a damn thing else he said was a problem. The fact that he left this hanging the way he did without clarifying it on either end is where he fucked up. See, the part that he missed in between there was where he should have said, now, of course, the killer turned out to not be MAGA, which it was all for nothing. You know, all that work for nothing. Like that's your joke. You missed the punchline, Jimmy. And that's what I hate about when he's like, well, I never would have been making fun of it. It's like, the problem is you fumbled it. You fumbled the fucking ball, and this was not good, and you did not pick it back up very well. So, like, I know some people are thinking this is a big win for him, and I would, I guess, classify it as a technical win. But at the end of the day, it's a loss for freedom of speech and America in general when it comes to the idea of what freedom of speech actually means, how people understand it, the responsibilities that come with it, and what fucking lying is, right? Like, I mean, we've had, you know, Trump isn't wrong when he calls all these fucking places fake news. I don't trust anybody anymore because of all this shit. It's just ridiculous. But thank you for that, BA. Anyway, sounds like you want to say something too, Archie.
No, I was just like it was, he keeps trying to say it was Trump. It was, I said this Trump thing, whatever, you know, and then when he came back, he's like, oh, you know, I never meant to make light of his death. Like, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't that you made light of his death. That wasn't it. Shut up. Actually apologize for what you did, which was saying something that was counterfactual. That was completely opposite of all of the evidence that we have, trying to put the reason for his death onto a certain side. And he did say something about, pointing, he didn't mean to point fingers. We know you meant to point fingers, Jim.
Yeah.
We know you did.
Everything
you do
he
it
said
every
was
night.
deliberate. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He has no line with the whole what is him like going off on political tangents or a joke, because his shows become such a hardcore propaganda outlets. A few times I see clips, it just feels like that is all that is a political lecture. Maybe there's a whole other 45 minutes of show that I don't see. But it seems like the any time people talk about that show is when it is in regards to politics. That seems to be the only stuff that gets any attention is politics. So either it talks about the whole show and that's what it's known for, or we're taking 5 minutes of the show and making that the talking about. I don't know which one it is, but that's what his show is known for. And it's not a comedy show at that point. You're just propaganda. He wants to be, once again, one of those people who make up the infotainment type of name, because they want to have all the benefits of their arguments and none of the consequences of them. This is where these shows need to decide which one they are, have the advantage of one of them, but also face the consequences of one of them, rather than just try to be in a position where you always come out on top.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyways, I guess I'll acknowledge this super
No,
chat.
sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. My bad. KN Kareen says with $9.99, because you guys didn't say anything, so I was just talking, and until you started talking, Nick, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, Trump made it so worse though. Oh, I agree, Kareen. Like he's his own worst enemy when it comes to this shit. And sometimes I think he's just flat out trolling and doing it on purpose. Right? I mean, of course, I kind of understand that from somebody who's a bit of a troll themselves. Because you get to a point where you're like, well, fuck it, I can't beat them, join them. You know, like if they're going to keep doing this shit, I might as well just fucking play the game too.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Bill Maher learned about him. But anyway, go ahead.
My usual example with that on Trump is that I don't think he actually intends to annex Canada. He's definitely trolling about that.
Exactly. Has he done anything yet?
I think what he would
of
like...
the 50,000 things he said he was going to do, how many of them has he actually done? Right? Like,
I think what he would actually like to see happen there is a better agreement about general, like, worldly travel into the countries and border security, to have the two countries be like in a closer agreement that would allow Canadians and Americans to travel within these two countries more freely, because you have that security. He doesn't actually want to annex Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to kind of like read between the lines of what he's actually saying when he's trolling like that. At least in my opinion, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I'm not saying it helps his image, though. Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't disagree with her either. I mean, yeah, he did make it worse. And I do think, Tom, you are right when you say he's definitely playing the, well, guess what? Well, I guess he's going to make fire. I guess I'm just going to know fight fire with fire as well. And yeah, that is a for better and worse. And I do have to emphasize the word "and" on that statement being the key word, because there's a value to that, but there is the downsides. And yeah, Trump can be admittedly his own worst enemy at times as well, but he's one of those guys where he says, don't get angry, get even. And what is he doing? He's getting even.
And sometimes, but that's part of the problem here in this, and this is where it kind of goes along with the rest of what Kareen's saying. I can't disagree with a lot of it. I initially was upset until you explained the rules, but Trump, FCC's chair, made Kimmel a speech hero. This is true. They did not help the case. You're totally right. Majority of peeps were on Kimmel's side, not only celebrities. I don't know about majority of peeps. I would say that a lot of people were misunderstanding the situation, much like, you did, Kareen, until you went and researched it yourself or whatever, after I was telling you what I knew about the situation from, school and my license and all that business. But again, like, I agree that nobody should be necessarily persecuted for just saying something. But if you say something like that on the national airwaves, it comes with a sense of responsibility. And here's the funny part about this is ABC is the one who took Kimmel off the air, right? If, let's just say for a sake of argument, if the FCC were to have actually stepped in and done anything, nobody is even talking about what the actual punishment would have been. And it probably would have had nothing or even remotely close with taking Jimmy off the air, because nothing was as bad as some of the other more egregious things they've dealt with in the past, which I've pointed out is the FCC likes to bark, but they rarely ever bite. I can't even think of a time, I'd have to go do research, to where they've actually done anything. And I think the last time I can think of anything is when it took them 12 years to decide to finally lobby a bunch of fucking fines for the Janet Jackson incident. And I'm like, you dumb fucks, that was an accident. How the fuck can you regulate that? Like, it was a flat out accident, and it wasn't a swear word either. So it was like, yes, it was a slip, a literal slip. And I know the conspiracy theorists want to go back and forth on whether or not it was planned or not. Look, I don't think it was, because Janet Jackson's career took a nosedive after that. And when you're the most popular Jackson besides Michael, that says something. And you know, yeah, like at least you laughed at that. Look, there's a lot of Jacksons, okay?
There's a whole lot of Jacksons.
There's Tito, there's Dorito, there's Pito. I don't even know how many there are.
Dorito, there's Lay's.
Yeah, Joe just started naming them after his favorite chips at some point. He's just like, no, I'm just kidding. No, like, to me, that was like the last time I could think of the FCC doing anything, and that was one of the most cluster-fucked situations ever, and I don't even agree with the outcome of that because everybody just got fined. That's all it was. Fines. And we're not even talking like major, like put you out of your, home type fines, because the people being fined are these networks, right? So people where this is literally a drop in the hat or something that they can write off somehow. I don't know. Mikey would have to explain that to me, but like, yeah, so we're talking tens of thousands of dollars at most in some cases. So you know what happened when it happened to Jimmy? He probably would have got fined $60,000 or something like that. Some stupid amount, and had to clarify that what he said was false. That's it. That's probably what the FCC would have had him do or done. And it probably would have took him 6 years to do it. Like that's the other problem, is they are so slow doing anything.
Yeah. So the as far as I can find, the most recent action that the FCC has taken against anyone,
okay, what you got?
Was a Spokane TV station where apparently during a newscast, somebody had a pornographic video on in the background.
Oh shit.
And it aired for 13 seconds during the air. It was a $222,000 fine. That was in 2021.
How much was it?
222,000.
Okay, so like, yeah, I don't know the fine amounts anymore. Like that's where I'm kind of fuzzy, because it's been 20 years since I got my license. Yeah. And in that 20 years, I'm sure the amounts have gone up. So like my memory back in the day for like a small minor violation of saying like shit on the air would be like $10,000. You know what I mean? Like just a bingo. Yeah. Like every time you do something like that, the F word, I think they can raise it up and it keeps going depending on what you're saying. Like, and again, it also depends on the context, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you're a doctor, or you're actually explaining something that happened in like a court case that may have some adult language in it, the FCC will actually give you a lot of leeway and wide, berth or whatever you want to call it, to where you can kind of get away and maneuver through a lot of those things. But once you get to, certain things that are just, on TV shows and just talk shows and stuff like that are just talking about normal everyday things, then you start to get a little bit more dicey, and that's where the FCC gets involved. And again, they are not necessarily policing things the way that everybody acts like. And that's where Carr really fucked up too, and I agree with you, Kareen, is his going out there and acting like a bit, I don't know if I'd say a mobster, but just like Andre, I think, put it best, where the problem we have here, and I can't do it as eloquently as Andre, is that the FCC hasn't used this shit for so long that it feels like they're abusing it when they actually do their job. Right? Like it's that if you don't use it, you lose it kind of mentality. And this is a thing that is kind of real in laws, because I know a lot of people or not a lot of people, but I know certain situations where I remember either hearing about a case, reading about a case, seeing something where like it may be something where somebody did do an infraction and they did break the law, but since it's never been enforced for so long for other people, that the case just gets dropped. Does that make sense? Like, mm-hmm. I mean, and that's kind of where the FCC is at with a lot of this stuff. They have let some of these political people and this political bullshit go on for so long and not done anything about it, that when they actually do something, if they did, which they haven't, but let's just say for the sake of argument, if they did, then yeah, it does feel like a bit of an overstep or an overreach. Yeah. What were you saying, Nick?
Do you think people from the FCC probably also had a case of TDS, so they just let it slide because they had it as well? And now that they're finally in a position where they're facing pressure for their decisions, now they take their rules seriously? That's nothing I've heard. This is just merely a hunch. What do you think? I mean,
look, Trump was in office for years and he didn't really do much. He could have done shit then. He made a lot of threats. He called a lot of news stations fake news. He could have sicked the FCC after any of them at any goddamn time. He technically didn't sick the FCC after him this time either. See, and that's where I agree with you guys, where he's a lot of talk when it comes to a lot of these threats. and a lot of this other stuff, and his actions are totally different. And again, I have to wait and see what he does. And at this point, I've seen FCC and Trump do fuck all other than say something about it, which I agree with Kareen did not help the situation. So, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because Kimmel's back on the air, and in 6 months he probably won't be because of ratings. But at the same time,
I give it about a year or two. I give it about a year
I don't know
or
when
two.
his contract's up, but like at the same time, ABC was the one who made this decision because their ass was on the line. And now I also look at it as they're just giving Jimmy the rope to hang himself with at this point. Because if he wants to keep going down this road, then he's just tempting fate, right? Like it's one thing to get, to miss a brush with death once, and then you keep going. And I'm not trying to be, hyperbolic with my, analogy here, but it's, the death of his career anyway, or however you want to look at it. I mean, you've already came that close once. Don't you think you'd want to be like, okay, I've come close to the fire. I don't want to get that close again. Right? Like you burn me once, that's my fault. If I get burned again, that's my fucking fault. Shame on me type thing.
I really hope we don't
now.
get to a point where Trump says
Since he was talking.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just saying. I think he's got plot. He feels like he's got plot armor now because he's got so much support behind him. He can't possibly screw up. He can go as hard as he wants now after this, right?
Yeah. So what were you saying, Nick?
Oh no, we're good. We're good. Just let's carry on the show.
Go ahead, R2. Yeah. Whoever wants to talk next.
I was just saying, Tom, like you're saying, giving him enough rope to hang himself with. I think that's where we are now. He's going to get overconfident. He's going to say something else.
Yeah, if he feels bulletproof, and he's probably feeling 10 feet tall and bulletproof right now. Those crocodile tears made me sick.
Oh.
I've seen a lot better actors than that.
He is good at that, just turning on the tears, isn't he?
And this is and this is a good point here, Alyssa. And this is probably because I'm a lot like Superman, where I try to look for the best in people usually. Like I get pissed real easy at people and I get aggravated, but I also am one of those kind of guys who's like, okay, like what am I doing wrong here in this situation that I can do better, and try to figure out what's going on when I'm disagreeing with somebody, right? Unless I'm online trolling people, that's a different story. But you're not wrong. I do this a lot, Alyssa. I do attribute a lot of qualities and things that I expect most people would have as far as morals and standards that I start to learn after time, especially being the age I'm at now. Most people don't have. So yeah. What were you saying, Nick?
Trolling. We do a little bit of trolling.
Just a little bit of trolling.
I saw someone mention in the comments you probably never read his book, The Art of the Deal. Maybe that will explain why he does what he does. If I'm going to give any advice to the president, I would say look to your own VP, because if there's one thing the VP is maybe better at doing is timing of every time he fires back. Because I feel like he does a little bit fewer, but when he does it, it definitely has a amount of impact when he does. I'd say look to your VP for that, because the VP, in my opinion, has a little bit better timing. And I feel like that timing always drops very effectively.
Yeah, Action Com says George W. Bush always took the high road. What the heck did that get him? Well, I'm not going to say he was a saint by any means, but I feel like he was probably more of a puppet than anything. A useful idiot.
He was one of the problems with that party to begin with. They said things were bad, but it was like the whole, hey, you're gunning that red light. Why are you doing that? Oh, okay, you can go gun that red light now. That was Bush. That was McCain. That was Romney. That was Bush Sr. And Reagan when he gave amnesty even at the end to a bunch of illegals. That was the party for many years, is saying, hey, guys, what you're doing is bad. You need to stop that. And then one day they're okay, you can go do that now. They got so used to making all the rules because Republicans didn't do anything but just exist and say this is bad. Okay, now it's fine. Now Donald Trump actually says is bad. And outside of a lot of the shit talking he does actually follow up with a lot of his actions and saying, no, we're not doing this. That's probably one of the things he does follow up on, that's not just all smoke and mirrors, that he does, walk the walk on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we've had a lot worse. He was a sequel.
For
better or worse, literally. He was a sequel.
Oh, that's funny.
Not quite as great as the first one. Not that the first one was all that good to begin with, but I've seen a lot worse. So yeah. BA says one last comment about Kimmel lie. Is that it shocked many Democrats and centrists and may not have supported Trump in the past overall for Kimmel.
I don't understand that comment. Am I
I
reading
think
wrong?
he means that it did actually make some people realize that how dumb the Democrats are. Maybe is that what he's getting at, or how bad this whole thing has gotten?
I really don't get it.
I think that's what you mean, BA, and I want to believe that more people are kind of seeing the light. But he says just in normal chat, if Jimmy gets away with this, we're doomed because then it becomes 1984.
See,
okay, so I see what you're saying here now. I think is that what they're saying is happening because Jimmy was taken off the air is the opposite in reality. You know, it's more of a censorship for the right kind of thing, I think is what he's kind of getting at. If I'm kind of putting the puzzle pieces together here. In my head.
I get his point on the whole doomed 84. Here's the thing. I think for something like that, I wouldn't worry about that because once again, this show is just going to bleed a slow death. We're just watching a corpse slowly rot. You know what? Let's let that corpse rot. Let's let it rot. This is not something that was hot on the ratings and it's going to come back and it's here to stay. It's not here to stay. Let them have their superficial win. I am, in my opinion, I'm glad he's back on the air. I want to watch the body burn slowly. I'm good with it. I genuinely mean it. This is not sarcasm. This is not a joke. I want this thing to rot slowly. I'd rather have that than to have this cancellation that was. I want this shit to burn slowly so we can look at the prolonging death. Like, I remember when this happened.
Yeah. Well, with that, we're caught up with Super Chats, and we're going to make this show a memory. So, R2, plug your wares. What do you got going on?
Oh, well, you can find me on Price of Reason Live for the Night Owl later this evening, 11:45 Eastern, and then do a little show with some friends called B-Sides over on at B-Roll Stage on YouTube, Rumble, all those good places, Friday evenings at 9 Eastern. So, yeah, do a little riffing on an old movie. I don't know what we're covering this week, but we'll have some fun.
Sounds good. All right, CC, what you got going on? Anything?
Nah, not really. Maybe have some pizza.
Oh, man after my own heart there. Nick, what you got coming up? Tomorrow night you got a show, right?
No, we do it on Saturdays.
Oh, you're doing it on Saturdays. That's right. I forgot you moved it. Yep.
It's okay. It's at 6 p.m. That'll be great. Till then, I'm actually going to hang out with my buddy Adam and his crew on Vets Talking in a few minutes. I hang out with them until TNT starts. So Adam and the Vets Talking guys are a fun bunch. If you guys got nothing going on, I will post the link in the chat to come hang out. If you guys got nothing going on between now and TNT. Adam's a great dude. He's been on Toxic Tuesday. He's a fun guy. And they're just veterans who talk about culture, politics, a lot of things we talk about, but from a veteran perspective.
All right. With that, you can find me somewheres between now and then. I don't know what the new schedule is going to look like post next week, but we'll try to keep you guys up to date on that. And with that, we'll say take care of yourselves and see you soon. Here is the outro. Thanks, guys.
Cute kitty.
Available now for the first time ever on DVD from Midnight's Edge After Dark Productions. It's My Two Dads, the complete first season starring Mexican Iron Man Tom Connors and Culture Casino. Available now for $19.99. While supplies last.